Oh, hi. Uh, what am I gonna talk about today? Actually, I wanted to make just another entry, but one of my subscribers, that's Rated ER, good friend now, asked me something more about the hospital and stuff like that. So here I am. Yes, I'm wearing scrubs, I know. William won't like it, but hey, that's world. The hospital I work in is the Casimiro Ulloa in Lima, Peru. That's a emergency hospital. It's a specialized hospital, so we get all kinds of cases. Most of all car crashes, cuts, rubs, mugs, assaults, pneumonia, shortness of breath, and any other emergencies you can think about. No, that's my badge. That's me. Yeah, because I'm also studying. I don't have a full-time job there. I'm just an extern. It's like practices, if you want. I or one of the other interns do the triage, and then the patients go sent either to medicine or surgery or to trauma shock. But it's not good to send a patient to the trauma room because that's where the worst cases go. What do I do in the hospital? Well, I'm mostly in the surgical department where we get all the cuts and we get all the foreign objects and stuff like that. Burned ones. We also get a lot of burned babies that got burned because of a hot bowl of water or something like that. And well, my specialty is suturing. I specialize in what's face sutures so as to leave as little scar as possible. But I also go up to the operating room, mostly just appendicitis, cholecystitis, and stuff like that. I've been also on some really cool brain surgeries. That's the coolest. I mean, you really see like the brain open there. You poke around. No, to poke around a brain is not something you wanna do. Uh, Usually leaves a headache though. Okay, so how's my life in the hospital? Pretty much whenever I can go because of my schedule. I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning and are in the hospital by 6 o'clock. At 6:30 the shift starts, and it is supposed to end at 6 o'clock in the afternoon. Then it's usually a pretty calm morning until kids go to school. Then we'll usually have a couple of runovers, and when it's time to cook dinner and lunch, we usually got cut in the hands and stuff like that. If I'm staying on guard, that means I have the graveyard shift or the night shift. Then I go in 6:30 in the morning, and my shift ends at 6:30 in the afternoon. Only I have to stay until the next 6:30 in the morning. That's 24 hours, and then my shift ends and starts again that very moment, and I have to stay until 6 o'clock in the afternoon. That's about 34 hours. Uh, yeah, I don't usually stay all that long, but that's a 34-hour long shift, and well, you have to endure it because, especially on weekends, weekends are the worst day to be at a hospital. I mean, Saturday is always a busy night. There's so many drunk people that just fall over, get into a fight, get run over, drive drunk. God, people, stop driving drunk. I mean, it's not like you're invincible or stuff. You will get hit, and you will crash, and you will die. So please, save us the trouble. Well, maybe the good thing about working in an emergency hospital is you never get bored. You do have some slow days, but mostly it's like you go to work knowing that something new is gonna be there. You go to work believing you've seen everything, and when you get there, it's like, oh my god, what the fuck happened here? I mean, when I left the place, it was with one, maybe two patients, and now I come back 12 hours later, and there's like 50 patients all over the floor. So you never know what is expecting you in an emergency hospital. Although we get some really cool and interesting cases, and you never get bored. That's the thing. For example, this other day, some punk kids got into a fight, and somehow, don't ask me how, one got thrown away from a two-story high building and went through a glass window into a pool. So he came in, he went into trauma shock, but it wasn't really a trauma patient, so they left it to the surgery department, and all the interns were asleep, and I was on guard, so I had to stitch him up. And good thing I did, though, because it wasn't that easy. I had to rebuild all his face, the right side of it, because he had a cut going all the way like this over his eyebrow, and it was like flipped open and over his eye, so I had to stitch it back together. But it turned out quite fine. I mean, it'll always leave a scar, but at least it has a normal face, and in time the scars also gonna disappear. So you never get bored. That's really the positive side. However, working in an emergency hospital also has its downsides. I mean, you never get to sleep much, and you sometimes get across this really sad cases of people who had an accident, and 10 minutes ago they were fine, they were living a normal life, and then suddenly, and out of really stupid reasons, it's all changed for them. They don't have any money right there. Not that that's a problem, because if it's an emergency, by law we are required to provide them with any care they need. But it's never gonna be the same for them. I mean, they're gonna be scarred. They're some will never walk again. But it's those cases where you can only do that much. I mean, we don't play to be God. We just try and help out every time we can. I mean, a doctor's job is not only to save lives or to cure illnesses, but to better the quality of life as far as possible. And sometimes that's all we can do. So we have to recognize our limitations and always give our best. Yeah, it's not always a fun job. It's not always a job I'm eager to do, but it's something that keeps me up, makes me wake up every morning, and I go to the hospital knowing I help people, and that's always nice. That's always a nice feeling. I mean, not everyone's born to do it, but I think I'm getting the hang of it. Yeah, I think this is what I'm gonna do the rest of my life. So sometimes, after so many hours of work and after so many difficult patients, most of them drunk and stuff, you get one of those patients that you really feel you can help, and where you really feel you make a difference, because they come in and are so scared, and they just suffered so much, and you just know that maybe just by talking to them or by providing the help no one else can provide them, you feel you really make a difference. And maybe just for those 10 minutes of a whole 34-hour shift, I mean, I'd work 100 shifts like that only for those 10 minutes with one of those patients. That really makes it all worth. Those kinds of patients and those kinds of situations where you feel you make a difference, those things are worth a whole life of hard work and study. So next time you go to a doctor, trust him, ask him, just be their friend and let them help you.